Hey all, and welcome back for another round of HellfireComms Patreon TV Comms. Today we're going to be checking out a brand new series by the name of SSSS.Gridman. This is actually a anime adaptation of something from, what's the date here? The 1990s, 1993 to be precise, called Gridman the Hyper Agent. And people who live in Western hemispheres may actually remember this as Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. That's what it was adapted into. So we're watching an adaptation of something that was already adapted into the West. Let's not try to dwell on the adaptation aspect so much, otherwise my brain may actually implode. We're covering the first 3 episodes today, and these were all commissioned by a Frozen Traveller. And just before we go into this, full disclosure, Volk and I did try to record these the other day, so we have seen the first 17 minutes or so of episode 1, but after that it's like completely blind and whatnot. I just wanted to let you all know that before we go into it. So, you ready, Volk?
I'm ready.
Let's do this shit. Episode 1 of SSSS.Gridman in 3, 2, 1. Okie dokie, let's see what my little thing says here. Anime television adaptation, Gridman the Hyper Agent. This is actually a joint collaboration between Suburaya Productions, the production company behind Gridman and the Ultra series, and Studio Trigger. Woohoo! Oh, I love me a bit of Trigger.
Yep, I mean, they've done the Kill la Kill, they've done the Little Witch Academia, they've generally speaking always come up with some top-notch anime, and I'm sure this is going to be no exception. Although, to follow up on the full disclosure you did there before, it does have very much a slow start, so
yes,
we'll be trying to fill in the air as best we can, as well as give our thoughts along the way.
So this is the general, like, feel, tone, and plot of the film, without too many spoilers. The story focuses on Yuta Hibiki, an amnesiac first-year high school student living in the fictional Japanese city of Jidai. Why does everything have to be so complicated to pronounce? He meets the hyper agent Gridman in an old computer, who stated that the boy has a mission he must fulfill as he sets out to find the meaning to those words and his memory loss. The sudden appearance of kaiju would eventually change the usual dynamics of Yuta and his classmates. Let's see. After kaiju attack, people's memories are reset and those who die are forgotten. That's a really adult fear, don't you think?
It is. It's also something they've done before in a game called Final Fantasy Type 0, where anybody who dies, because of the influence of the crystals or something like that, I believe, they don't actually remember when somebody actually gets killed in combat. And they're all, like, essentially kids in an academy, and they're trained up to go on missions and what have you. It's a very interesting take, and it's certainly going to be something... When kaiju attacks are involved, you know there's probably heavy casualties involved. I know a lot of the Toku series in general just seem to gloss over this fact, but when buildings explode and all that, usually there's people in them.
yeah, really. I'm expecting a few casualties here and there. How do you feel about the use of amnesia in media, mate, as a storytelling device? Personally, for me, I kind of like that whole puzzle box aspect that I guess J.J. Abrams is famous for. I'm not a fan of, like, all his movies, but that thing of slowly piecing together a story is a tale as old as time, and for me, it's how it's told rather than the actual trope itself being bad.
I would say that it's a very good way of telling the story almost through the individual that they're focusing on. If a person has amnesia, they're realizing events as you are, so there's no like, oh, they might have figured this out. When you figure something out, you've probably only just figured it out yourself, or maybe you've pieced it together from what you've seen before, so it gives you an interesting take on how you absorb the media as a whole. And I would say if it was more overused, I'd say I probably wouldn't like it, but I think as a main focal point, and it hasn't actually been used all that much, especially recently.
What would you do if, like, this little Gundam-looking motherfucker appeared on your PC? Would you think there was a virus or something?
I would do everything he said. Mostly because I can't take the possibility that he is evil and would literally vaporize me if I didn't do exactly what he told me.
God, I can't not fuse with him.
I mean, why would you not? I mean, think of the plus side. You get an awesome Gridman dude that you can transform into. The worst, well, you're basically a slave and have to go up to his every whim command.
Did you watch Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad growing up, mate?
I did not, although I did watch a tiny little bit of Ultraman in the late 90s that sort of appeared. I think it was in some kind of special when they were talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and they were saying, oh hey, these are the Sentai origins, and this is the Giant Hero series, and the granddaddy is Ultraman, who turns really big and punches the shit out of people.
Oh, that's cool. Did you know that Supaidaman, the emissary from Hell, is kind of the reason we have giant mecha anime to begin with?
I did not know that, and I am thankful because they do provide us with a hell of a lot of entertainment. I mean, you have Godzilla as well, who's an icon within itself, but having a giant hero, so to speak, gives you someone that you know you can root for, rather than Godzilla, who you're purely a fan of just because he's just that damn iconic. You know damn well he just wants to eat people and destroy buildings or what have you, but, he's just doing what he does to get by.
Is that thing, like, fossilized? What's going on here? It kind of reminds me of the Dead Titans from Xenoblade Chronicles.
It really does. Maybe they're going to find the Monado as well as Gridman, and it's all going to come together very nicely.
A daring synthesis.
I suppose Xenoblade does have some kaiju elements with the Mechonis and what have you, but I think it would be safe to say this is just some form of Godzilla lookalike. I mean, with Godzilla, you tend to have a few. I mean, you've got at least Vanilla Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla, and if you're going by Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, you've got like 5 varieties from different years. But thank God they never went as far as Godzuki. As far as everyone's concerned, he is non-canon and part of a TV show which probably shouldn't have been.
Wasn't there like a Godzilla cartoon based on like the '98 movie or whatever? I hear that was actually pretty good.
I have heard that particular one was actually alright, although I only remember the one with Godzuki and just cringing myself into a crater.
Alright, so let's look up characters here. Obviously we have Yuta as the main character. No, that's Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, you don't want to be looking at that. Let's see. I'm assuming this is Rika Takarada, voiced by Yumi Miyamoto in Japanese and Jill Harris in English, the sole female member of Gridman Alliance and Yuta's classmate who found the amnesiac boy in front of her house. Who's Yuta voiced by? Yuya Hirose in Japanese and Brandon McInnes in English.
The nice thing about Yuta's voice actor, in both English and Japanese, both actors seem relatively fresh to the voice acting scene, and haven't really been doing things for more than a few years, and maybe only have a few roles here and there. As far as the voice actors for Rika is concerned, Yumi doesn't have a huge amount in there, but she did voice Lilo in the Japanese dub of the Lilo and Stitch cartoon series. And in English, she's voiced by Jill Harris, who has a lot of things. Like, the size of her filmography is nearly triple the size of Yume's. So she's also known for voicing Hifumi Takimoto and the character's pet hedgehog Sojiro in New Game, and Aura Bellafiora in Overlord. And a lot of her work comes from shows aired from 2016 onwards. So essentially, those 30-odd roles that she's done have all been stuff she's done in like the last few years. So she's been very busy.
What, we just gotta gloss over the Severus Snape-looking guy?
He's not important right now, I'd imagine. Otherwise, they would have given him a voice line and made him say, "And so the cycle continues," or something along those lines.
It begins. Alright, Utsume. Let's see. Who is that? I'm assuming this is Sho Utsume. Yuta's classmate and founder of the Gridman Alliance, specialized in human networking. He is actually a fan of tokusatsu, including the Ultra series. But what is tokusatsu? I'm going to look this up. It's a Japanese term for live-action film or television drama that makes heavy use of special effects. Tokusatsu entertainment often deals with science fiction, fantasy, or horror, but films and television shows and other genres can sometimes count as tokusatsu as well. The most popular types of tokusatsu include kaiju monster films such as Godzilla and Gamera, superhero TV serials such as Kamen Rider and Metal Hero, and mecha dramas like Giant Robo. Some tokusatsu television programs combine several of these subgenres, for example the Ultraman and Super Sentai series. Why did I read that so fast? It was like, I felt a kinship with these words, something I had grown up with and bonded with my whole life.
Or maybe we should just flash a warning to say to play this at 0.75% speed.
Yeah, no, don't do that, it will desync the commentary from the footage.
Also, I feel like I've been redeemed ever so slightly, because Sho Utsume is actually that blue-haired boy we saw. The weird man in the suit has yet to be announced. But, there's bound to be some mystery surrounding him. They showed him off this early and basically said, "Here's a dude in a suit. For all you know, it could be the same dude as just any regular Joe or salaryman, but we all know that's probably not the case.
Yeah, regular salarymen are too busy with their nose to the grindstones. They don't have time to be standing about stooped in the street looking all menacing.
Oh, her face is so squished, that's actually kind of adorable.
What, is the teacher not here yet? Is this like homeroom? Is that why you're like lollygagging about and not actually doing work?
Maybe the teachers also have amnesia and forgot to come into work today.
No. You know, I never knew what homeroom actually meant growing up. But then I just realised, oh, it's just like, it's reception or whatever. Not like reception as in when you're like 4 or 5 years old. But it's like where you sit down and the register is taken and then you go to a different class.
So it's basically what we would consider as like the tutorial session.
Tutorial,
like the 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever where they go through the register, they give you like all the news and happenings that are going on. If there's an assembly, they'll cut you all down over to that, and then your first lessons will happen. So it's basically just a way to kind of wind down, get comfortable before you actually dart your way into various lessons and what have you.
You know, I can't help but feel a slight School Live vibe here. I'm just really hoping that zombies aren't going to come out the woodworks and eat everyone here.
Yeah, well, we've got kaiju potentially to worry about this time, so probably not quite as brutal, but you can't imagine it's going to be not as messy. So, Sho Utsumi is voiced by a Soma Saito in Japanese and a Greg Ayers in English. Soma is better known for his roles as Popuko in the meme-tastic show Pop Team Epic. I'm not sure if you've heard of that one before. It's like the ones where the characters look like jelly beans and what have you.
Your life ends in 20 minutes from now.
He was also Tatsumi in Akame ga Kill, but he also features in such iconic roles as the one-star student in Kill la Kill and Citizen in Pokemon Black and White. And suddenly the whole world is stopped because the special dog has been slain, I guess.
Ding dong, can bald girl please report to the counselor's office? Words. I don't know how schools work, especially not in Japan.
All kids are advised not to move. The animation budget has been stretched too far.
Like that's why I don't care about people like saying anime is so much better than Western animation, because for the most part it's just like characters standing around talking until like 2 to 3 minutes of really high quality animation that people base the entire quality of the show off.
Yeah, that's true. I always feel like he gets an unfairly bad rap because of it. Sure, that was probably the truth, like, some decades ago, but nowadays they tend to... I would say they animate where they can, but they're still very careful not to kind of waste animation just doing things when they don't really need to, if it's just like a couple of characters talking or something along those lines. Unless it's something more dynamic, like they're walking along somewhere, or maybe something along those lines.
See, Volk took the positive route. I was handling the negative thing that I was saying people tend to overrate anime sometimes. There are absolutely gorgeous anime series that are beautiful throughout, but I would say the majority are not. Just like Western animation, though, really. You may have seen someone crafting a little something in front of a computer back there. In Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, which the quadruple S's are actually a reference to. There's another meaning that's revealed in the final episode, I won't spoil it here. There was a character known as Kilo-Khan in Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad who actually brought all the creations of a Malcolm, I think it was Malcolm Tucker, although that may have been one of Pete Capaldi's roles, I'm not sure. Yeah, the thick of it. Rambling now. But yeah, the dude in Superhuman Samurai, he made monsters on the computer, Kira Khan brought them to life, and Kira Khan was voiced by motherfucking Tim Curry!
Oh yeah, that Tim Curry. Sooner or later, he will make his way into space!
Yes, I got to go into space.
Alright, so Gridman's voice actor, since we haven't had a choice to talk about that particular character yet, he is voiced by Hikaru Midorikawa in Japanese and by a Robert McCollum in English. Hikaru is very, very old blood as far as voice acting is concerned. Started back in 1989, where he provided the voices for Tien and Android 16 in Dragon Ball Z.
Wow.
And also, in most recent times, actually voices Best Genius in Hero Academy.
Okay.
And in the dub side of things, Robert has voiced Adult Goten in Dragon Ball GT and Stain in Hero Academy.
I'm not a fan of the My Hero dub. I'm sorry, I'm just pointing it out there. I love Chris Sabat as All Might. I'll even concede that the dude who plays Deku is pretty good, but... Oh, big old Macintosh computer. Sorry, I get sidetracked when technology is thrown into the mix.
Yeah, let's just put Grid inside an Amstrad. It'll look mad retro.
You know what's really funny? I was actually catching up on Only Players just before we started recording, and it was the finale of the Tron world in KH2.
Ooh, very nice. I still need to get around to actually playing that at some point.
Well, Kingdom Hearts 3 is out now, mate, so you have the entire Xehanort saga at your very fingertips.
I think it'll do me better to do it all through, like, one thing, just so I can, like, properly get the hang of what's going on, rather than having huge gaps in between.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, this is a sort of sublime-looking figure, so I guess the person in the computer is actually going to bring this to life. It's kind of like a 3D printer.
With Gurren Lagann powers.
I have tiny little horns. What does it mean?
It probably means nothing. You know what Japanese hair is like. If it isn't naturally coloured, it's at least unnatural looking. It looks like it'll take at least an hour to get into shape.
I just thought of something really mean. Every time an overweight person walks past, I could turn dramatically to no camera in particular and say, I hear a kaiju. Although I do that when I pass the mirror, so swings and roundabouts. The karma train is back on the tracks.
Is this next to the quote where you drop something and go, oh, I wasted my life?
Oh, I wasted my life. Oh, Jesus Christ. Nice CGI here. It's not too distracting.
CGI has come a long way. I mean, we have seen its like still used a bit shakily, but as far as I can tell, at the very least, for at least what I've been told by various people who I've tried to get opinions on Gridman as a whole, because this is one of those shows that I've been meaning to watch. I just never got round to it, just because this came out during the absolute godlike season that came out in winter last year, or was it fall of last year? One of the two. But essentially, you had, as well as this, you had Zombieland Saga. The Double Baki also came out around that time. You still had stuff like My Life, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. There was JoJo Part 5 as well. And I'm pretty sure I'm still missing a couple of things besides that. So that should say how easy it is to miss something like this, because there was just so much top quality anime going around at the time.
Oh. Is she gonna... Jesus Christ!
Man, she did!
She fucking destroyed me. I gotta say, I kind of love the slight jankiness of the CGI on the kaiju itself. I think they deliberately did it that way to give it that whole guy in suit sort of feel.
At the very least, it's a convenient excuse for how they had to drop the frame rate to accommodate for the whole 3D shenanigans going on.
It is time to fuse with the guy in the computer. Don't do this with malware buys. That's a bond you can never get rid of.
And certainly don't do it with McAfee.
Oh, God.
Wait, are we absolutely sure he's summoning Gridman, or is he just gonna, like, undo his shirt and, like, unveil a Superman logo or something?
Yeah, the music's kind of giving me that vibe.
Like, I'm half expecting it to go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ah, freaking!
That'd be a great place to pause if you want some amusing freeze frames.
I guess so, mate. I guess so. Okay, so Yuta's been swallowed by the internet. Not unlike me when a new episode of my favourite series comes out.
And not unlike one Dexter Douglas from Freakazoid.
Yes, thank you, Volk. I got there first. Deal with it. Freakazoid was the tightest shit, though, by the way.
It really was. I especially loved the one where they get on that island with all the orangutans. That was the one where actually Tim Curry came by to voice stuff as well. It was an absolutely legendary episode.
Alright, I'm going into the system settings here. Frame rate down to 15. There we go. Things are running quite nicely. I seem to recall, well, at least in Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, I think his name was like Servo or something, being red rather than blue. So maybe that's the thing that comes later on.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing is that they are drawing a lot of similarities in terms of, like, the group dynamics, at least. I mean, you got the two guys and the lass, obviously, and then there's Gridman himself. But, where the similarities continue or end, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, fuck you!
And fuck your neck in particular.
Oh, right in the whatever constitutes for a chest on Gridman.
You know, for something that's entirely animated, this looks so goddamn authentic.
It looks pretty good, yeah.
I think it's literally, as you say, this could very well have all been deliberate for, like, slowing down the frame rate. Because they could have very easily have done it at, like, the lower frame rate and then sped it up later, perhaps. Like you see a lot of YouTube videos do. But I don't think they need to do it here, because that weird, like, janky movement that you're describing, that's just almost, I would say, textbook Toku.
Yeah, really. Like, they could have even done the whole thing as CGI and then for the monster fighting sequences just go completely live action and it would work.
I don't know, I think that might be a bit too jarring, to be honest with you, although it would be kind of awesome. Like, maybe slot in for, like, one episode as a joke or something.
Huh, it's shedding for some reason.
Well, this is what you get for trying to make these things out of Fimo and not using good quality modeling clay. Air drying is not the way to go if you're making a monster that can destroy an entire city.
Oh god, not the skull!
We get educated there. Let me try typing in something.
Yeah, let's send an email to him. Urgent. That way he'll have to read it right away.
It'll then get put into a spam folder and he never actually reads it until like 3 days later when it's too late.
Until the final episode where he finally decides to take a look in there in desperation, and lo and behold, it's an upgrade that lets him save the day.
Well, she's got keyboard skills.
Oh shit, what's going on? Oh my god!
It's giving him the juice! Hell yeah!
Oh, it begins!
Yeah, here we go, now it's starting to kick in. As I said, bit of a slow burn, but it picks up quickly after that. I was kind of hoping it would just deflect the entire thing back at him, since they did seem to bounce, which seems a bit odd.
You know, in Superhuman Samurai, and I guess the original Grid Agent, the whole thing actually did take place, like, in the internet and whatnot, so it's weird to see this happen in real life. Oh, the insides are all, like, wires and whatnot, that's cool.
Looks a bit weird, though. It literally looks like those old Windows screensavers with the pipes.
Here we go, find a laser!
I think you've already beheaded it. Isn't this, like, going way overboard?
No, everything must perish.
Well, I suppose it isn't Toku about a massive explosion at the end.
Good job, everyone will forget me after this, and I won't get blamed for any of it.
Man, that angle is just so typical for anything involving a mecha.
Can you guys, like, put a safety mat out next time? Well, to be fair, that was the first time this has ever happened.
I mean, to be fair, all he'd have to do is move the sofa ever so slightly more to the right.
You're not wrong. That's right, Yuta. I did all the work. Praise me. Put a cupcake through the screen. I deserve it.
Imagine if this is just like his dad or something, like putting on this facade as being Gridman to get him to remember to do his homework.
Okay, so Rika and Sho, I guess, are going to be key components of Gridman in the future.
Although it seems like Sho's definitely going to be playing more of a support role. Rika seems to be the one that took to the keyboard side of things very, very quickly, so she'll be the one waylaying orders and ideas, I reckon, whereas Sho's like kind of the go-to guys for sort of like thinking of stuff on the fly, perhaps.
Yeah, let's get out of here. This is actually her place, after all.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, the kaiju came along, I got sucked into a computer, became Gridman, and killed it.
As with anime tradition, we'll probably have to wait for the next episode for the OP and the ED.
You know, for someone that just suffered a kaiju attack, Rika's mother, I'm assuming it's her mother anyway, seems oddly calm.
Oh, everyone remembered.
Well, for the time being, unless they're gonna go, nope, you're all gonna forget now.
Interesting. Who is making these monsters? I guess we'll find out actually pretty soon. There he is again, doing the Slav squat on top of a destroyed lamppost.
He is Gao from Final Fantasy VI, brought into the real world and made him work a salaryman job.
Kinda does remind me of Malcolm, the dude who made the monsters in Superhuman Samurai, honestly. He was a bit of a goth as well.
Hello, what's going on here?
Let me guess, is it completely alright again?
It's looking like they're leading up to it. Yep, as if nothing happened.
I wonder if that means the girl who, like, got blown up is fine as well.
Well, you read the synopsis near the start that says anybody who gets killed by a kaiju is forgotten about pretty much entirely, so I'm not so sure if she'll be as fortunate as the school premises were.
Well, that's true, but we destroyed the kaiju, so who knows what rules are in place right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got a little bit of question marks to answer, but we'll have to wait and see if episodes 2 and 3 will provide us some of those answers.
Indeed. How do you feel about episode 1 of Gridman, mate?
I feel like for as short a show as this is, it's actually a 12-episode series at the moment. Not sure if it's getting a season 2. I felt like maybe the first episode dragged on a little bit. I'm going to compare it to Zombieland Saga just because Zombieland Saga had a very similar runtime for its first season. It pretty much got going right from the start and then kind of went, okay, here's a little bit of world building. Suddenly here's this awesome dude who's just collected zombies. More world building. Awesome idle part where they just do heavy metal for no reason, followed by the credits. Whereas with this, it's more story, Gridman, awesome shit going on in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I suppose so, mate, but you show me an anime that doesn't backload its action, and I will show you a dog that can learn old tricks, or something. I'm confused. Let's just watch episode 2, shall we?
Yes, let's. I think that'd be a good way to go before you fry your brain entirely. We've still got a few more of these to go through today.
Indeed, mate. Now we're in completely blind territory, so I'm looking forward to this. Here we go. Episode 2 of SSSS.Gridman in 3, 2, 1. Oh, straight into the OP. Very nice. Oh, there's the red and one, huh?
So I wonder if this means that, like, Gridman is going to upgrade at some point.
I guess he'd have to. I mean, just look at his base form. It was more blue.
Yeah, that's how he was in the original as well, was he not?
I'm honestly not sure. Well, I didn't grow up watching Gridman. It came out in 93, mate.
Yeah, I was doing some research, and the one that I found initially from, I'm assuming, the 1993 to 1994 series was more of a purple, greyish tone, whereas what we're seeing so far, whilst the colour scheme is awesome, it's not the original.
I'm seeing, like, vehicles. We got a sword here. In Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, the others actually did ride vehicles into the digital world and whatnot, and then, like, kind of combined with Servo/Gridman as armor.
Ah, so I wonder if that's what those 4 suited individuals are going to be then.
Maybe.
It could be something else entirely, but I feel like that's going to be a well-educated enough guess.
I feel like the first episode was just trying to build the world and whatnot, and now we're going to get, like, much more action and whatnot. I mean, just look at this fucking opening and whatnot.
Yeah, it's going ham.
They're focusing on this lavender-haired chick a lot, so keep an eye on her, I suppose.
Well, at least that's what the opening is trying to tell us.
Nice. Just upgrade your fucking computer. I can't run like this.
Never fear, Gridman now has acquired a GTX 1080 Ti.
Gridman Titan GX!
Do you think Gridman fixed the school up for us? No, he's a kaiju killer, not a contractor.
Wait, does no one remember this? It was on the news and everything. No, it was on the news and everything! Don't gaslight me!
Maybe like the day reset or something like that. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the ones associated with Gridman are the only ones that remember.
Yeah, it's seeming like you're right, Vok. Yeah, this is weird. Oh no. Oh god, she did bite after all.
I mean, come on, she took a fireball directly to the face.
I mean, of all the ways to die, that one was pretty metal.
I mean, it's quick if nothing else. At least there's no lasting pain, but still, you're just like there minding your own business, and that second you're just vaporized.
Yeah, who are they? We don't remember anyone. You know, it's out of sight, out of mind. Now everyone's being gaslit here.
Holy crap, it really is like Type 0. They just forgot their entire existence and the world kind of resets to, I guess, supplement it.
That's scary. That is an adult fear of being forgotten after you die.
Turned out to be the one weakness of the Joker in Batman as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was a whole thing on the Arkham series and how the Joker's one fear is being forgotten about and nobody talking about him. It's how he actually properly expelled the Joker from his mind, Batman that is, because in one of the Arkham games, Joker essentially dies, but there's like a lasting, lingering effect inside Batman's mind which causes him to see the Joker and be able to interact with him somewhat. And it's at the very end of Arkham Knight where he expels that by basically taking Joker into his own mind and showing Joker's, like, one fear of being forgotten.
Okay. Spoilers for the Arkham games, by the way. Sorry about that.
I feel like they're old enough at this point.
I mean, even if characters are just, like, walking and talking, this is already more action-packed than the start of the last episode, so I'm engaged.
Well, I suppose with the shock realization that nobody remembers the kaiju attacking and that all of a sudden, people that just died are just completely forgotten about.
Calling it the Gridman Alliance reminds me of when I suggested we name our group HellfireComms to THD. Jesus.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, hey, it's more of those special dogs.
Hello? I owe you a dog. The last one was squished. You have no nose, you harlot. Be gone.
No, she does. She's just very, very small. You can barely see it.
Wait, do you think that's how it is with Krillin as well? He actually does have a nose, but it's so small.
Probably. Either that or his nose is just that flat. It's literally just a couple of nostrils that are barely visible.
Oh, there it is. By your other eye. I get it.
Or maybe Krillin just has gills and we just haven't really been paying attention.
Look, you're getting a bit weird now. I don't need that. I don't need the image of, you know, it's fine. I'll just push it down and let the Joker take it into my mind and forget about it.
Alright, so let's talk a little bit about this character here, Akane Shinjo. She is voiced by Reina Ueda in Japan, and she has been known to voice roles such as Mira in Dimension W. Very good anime, by the way. At least it has one of like the best openings I have ever seen, but it's one of those shows that kind of started out great, then maybe ended a little bit more on the average side, but the opening alone makes it worth at least watching a little bit of. And in the English dub, she is voiced by Lindsay Seidel. I think that's how you pronounce that name. And she is known for many, many roles. She started out initially as Boa Sandersonia in One Piece and Mimiko in Shin-Chan. And then her filmography goes all the way up to present day, which involves Akane from SSSS.Gridman, obviously, and also one Maya Fey from the Ace Attorney anime.
Oh, neat. I haven't watched that. The animation in the first season did admittedly look very jank.
It did, but it's actually not too bad. I mean, if you do like Phoenix Wright, I would recommend giving it a go. It's actually not too bad at all. It definitely lets you see events from a slightly different perspective, which is actually quite nice, and I was able to appreciate, even though I'd like played all the games before.
Akane had a little bit of a tsundere vibe to her, by the way, so again, keep an eye on her. They're the most dangerous ones you need to keep a tab on.
Oh, looks like we're finally going to get a view into her life, it would seem. Is she one of those neats?
Possibly.
I think she is.
What
It's just bin bags upon bin bags.
Right, I'm in. Oh, it was her! She made the monster!
Oh, wow. And I see she also fell for the craze of esports glasses as well. But I suppose if you're staring at a screen with somebody constantly blinking flashing lights at you like this dude probably is, they're probably not a bad shout.
Did you buy all of these, or did you make them yourself?
There's probably some imports thrown in there.
I like how they all have, like, colour-coded backpacks and whatnot. That's cute.
You'd almost think it was a Sentai with that kind of thing.
Yeah, Tokusatsu, Sentai, basically the same thing.
Yeah, just one has giant monsters from the get-go, the other works their way up towards it.
Yeah, kaiju, then aliens, then gods. That's basically the hierarchy.
Some people just skip the first two steps and go straight to gods.
No, that was just a weird, creepy dude, it's fine.
No, what if it's the Men in Black and they're related to the aliens?
Oh, you might be onto something here. There he is! Oh my god! His poor spine!
I'm about to neuralize all your asses.
Really?
Nice entrance there, buddy.
Okay, I'm up. You don't get to have a name that cool. You need to become Gridman forever and become red. I'm getting triggered over here. I don't like the blue.
Samurai caliber. Dude, how many swords does this man need?
Are they swords or are they just like poles and whatnot?
Imagine if it just like foams things for like LARPing and what have you. He's just a professional LARPer, that's what it is.
Oh, I see. Is this what makes him change colour and whatnot?
Possibly. Or maybe he's sabotaging.
Ah, there we go. Now all three of the Gridman Alliance TM can hear him.
And just think, all they had to do was upgrade from 4GB of RAM to 8GB of RAM.
God, stuff like this is so easy to make jokes for.
I mean, just imagine if they, dare I say it, upgrade the operating system. Nope, wait, no, hold on. That probably will end up in more of a downgrade. Just stick to the hardware.
The telephone network is the secret weapon. There were people who died. We will not forget them. Really?
That is a man with a one-track mind if I ever saw one. He's got jumps, though.
No one understands me. They're just following him.
Thankfully on the ground. So if my theory is correct and this guy is in some way related to like the extra gubbins that Gridman has, why is he not just saying it from the get-go? Because, I mean, he obviously knows Gridman. I mean, he came over to where essentially he lives and upgraded the damn PC. It just seems a bit surprising if he is affiliated with him in some way like that he would maybe let them know sooner?
Nah. Oh, I see, he's hungry. Cool.
They just wanted Chinese takeaway. Well, at least he went through the door the right way this time.
Oh, I don't like where this is going. Well, you could get rid of the memory of her, but surely she must have a room and whatnot. Oh no.
Oh, no.
So it readjusts the memories outside of the friend circle and whatnot. You need to leave. Yeah, just throw him out.
Well, now what are they gonna do? They're still hungry.
Yeah? Wow, Volk. Yeah, that's the biggest problem here. Filling their stomachs.
Well, I thought the other problem would be fairly obvious.
They all died a long time ago.
That's really nutty. I thought they'd literally just, like, forget, period, but it literally just adjusts it so, like, the circumstances around their death is slightly different. Oh, they're getting in on that Ramune stuff. Oh, hell yeah. What the hell's this guy doing? I take it you've never ever had Ramune before.
No, what is it?
Well, it's essentially soda, but instead of opening it in a traditional way, there's like a glass ball that sort of acts like the lid on the top, and you get like a little stopper that you push down onto the glass ball, which pushes it down into another compartment, and actually allows you to drink the damn thing.
Huh, interesting.
The drinks themselves are actually quite nice, although obviously a bit pricey considering, you know, import taxes and what have you, but it's not too bad. If you see one traveling around, I'd definitely recommend at least giving it a go. You could probably pick it up online as well. I know there's more than a few shops that sell and dabble in that sort of thing.
Fair dues. Yeah, I got it out.
Well, he has swords. He's kind of cheating.
Oh, there's a new one coming along. I call this Vanitas Zilla.
It does look a little bit like a futuristic Godzilla going on here. I do kind of like how you see, like, the images of them in the background. That is really awesome and super imposing.
Yeah, for sure. Does no one ever question them, though? Like, we haven't seemed to have gotten whether that was the case or not yet.
I don't think it's been mentioned yet whether or not everyone else can see the larger ones, to be honest with you. I mean, it could just be only they can see it as sort of like images of the past kaijus that they killed.
Oh, has he suffered this as well?
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if he knows Gridman, then obviously he's seen firsthand those sort of effects, so maybe he's acting as something as a mentor to kind of prepare them for, like, how the way of the world is, I'm guessing? I'm not even entirely sure if this is, like, meant to be a parallel world, or if this is, like, the real world, but then, like, some hand of God keeps, like, messing around with things. Look at us, you're so pleased with yourself.
I'm just gonna kill my homeroom teacher. Yeah, that's completely sane.
I feel like that's a bit extreme, but then again, she seems like she has a bit of that psychotic tsundere or yandere streak to her. Usually it's the yanderes that end up being the complete psychopaths.
So is he gonna get, like, his little morpher bracelet thing soon? Because it seems to be, like, sending electricity around his wrist in particular.
Yeah, it's gonna cause problems if he has to get back home every single time. Alright, the top half looks a bit weird, but the lower half is awesome looking.
Hell yeah.
Hella wonky-eyed, though.
Oh, it's a drone, and that's how she tracks the victims. Oh no.
Excuse me? Is that really necessary?
She loves this shit.
Note to self, do not mess with this here girl. She will make a kaiju and literally go out for a revenge streak. Imagine it sort of like as a temporary measure to be able to get to Gridman wherever he is, they just like attach the computer to a generator and then just run it around in a shopping cart or something.
Yeah. We haven't voted on that name yet, but yes, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly worse names you can come up with.
Gridman Friend Squad.
Rika's kind of been a bit quiet throughout this whole affair. I mean, she's obviously been expressing her annoyance with some of like the arrangements of what's been happening so far, but for the most part she's been, I don't know. It's kind of hard to get a read on what's going on. It could be mourning, maybe it's just how her character is.
That's why I brought 4 swords specifically.
Yeah, you never know when you need a second, third, or a fourth. You just can't account for one sword being enough to chop through something. This thing's having the time of its life. It's just like, ah, I'm firing beams at my belly button.
Gridman, it's time to freak out! Told you before, you two, we're not using that, it's copyrighted. I do like how you have Gridman, and then you have, like, Akane's thing, who's like the evil parallel.
Yeah, I think I remember reading something about how the guy who was making all of the kaijus before was very much a bit of a shut-in, never really interacted with anyone, but as far as Akane's concerned, she seems fairly popular at school at least. So, kind of the same idea. Oh, there's the bracelet. Henshin!
Yes, I am coming directly to you!
Hey, there's the color change. Oh, hey, still alive. But for how long?
Hello, dynamic entry!
It's like you didn't count on one thing. I actually like that homeroom teacher. Dude, the music's going in!
My favourite type of kicking comes directly out of the sun.
Oh, this is so hype.
It really is. Sorry, we're just taking a moment there to soak it in, and it definitely wasn't Discord having call quality issues. Grid to beam!
Yeah, I was totally just listening to the awesome music. It's all gravy.
Jesus. I didn't expect him to beam back at me. Okay, maybe we're gonna try something that doesn't involve lasers this time. Maybe the samurai guy could give us a sword?
Maybe, but then again, we've also got 2 legs and 2 fists, so maybe we can do something with that.
Maybe the glass helmet?
That would be my first guess too.
I know where I'd swing at if I was fighting him. I actually do know who this dude is involved with, but I'll save that for if it appears in episode 3. Oh shit!
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Yeah, I am the sword!
Oh, we're going all Shaman King now. It's like all the Guardian ghosts. Aminamoru, into the sword!
Yes! Oh, I want hugs!
Oh, it actually talks as well. That's so cool.
You gotta get diced!
Oh, he's actually boosting into him as well. Fucking ace.
Yeah, I saved the save. Everything's just exploding behind him.
The poses towards the end are so good.
Yeah, that's right, I'm back.
Alright, so I guess these guys in suits are going to be the various weapons that Gridman has at his disposal.
Well, that's one monitor down, I suppose.
Hey, those are expensive. Well, I guess she's going to be going out to grab a new Asus monitor as well as the rest of her modeling clay to make the next kaiju, I suppose. Of course, everybody knows for a short while, but come the next day, everyone forget it ever happened.
Yeah, I wonder what's triggering that, like, if there's a way to stop it or not.
Well, I was saying before how maybe it's just an act of God, literally. And I know how some of these animes tend to just like, oh yeah, there's just a godly figure pulling all the strings and just resetting everything, because, you know, they get some sick enjoyment out of it. But it's a little too early to say. I mean, it's not an anime trope we see very often, so to say that it's likely is probably an overstatement.
So you're gonna just stay here from now on, just in case we need the sword?
He's gonna sleep on the sofa.
Yeah.
I must always be near Gridman, so that I am always ready for battle.
He just, like, throws one of his swords into the monitor. Yep, the cycle begins again.
So who bit the dust this time? I don't think anybody on camera at least died, so who knows? Maybe we'll get revealed later on. Oh, there was this person, remember? Well, you don't anymore.
He's safe! Someone is alive because of you, Yuta!
And he apologized! Good end.
But I wanted to kill him.
Why didn't you let me kill him? It's so unfair.
The slow panning over skull supplies, ED. I know it well.
I can't tell if this is like real life stuff, like given a filter, or if this is like painted. I get the feeling it's probably the former.
You say that just as the anime characters appear on screen.
That too probably gave it away. Decent bop so far, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I like it.
This has actually been not too out of place as an opening, to be honest with you.
I kind of prefer it to the opening so far, but, you know, give it a few more lessons, that'll probably change.
It's also the first time we're like seeing like blazers as well, so Do they just not wear them at certain times of the year or something?
Well, I don't know. It gets pretty hot in Japan sometimes.
And here's some candid shots of what we assume are, like, the main characters.
She used to have friends and then became a psychopath. Oh, isn't it always the way?
Well, I mean, we get the impression that she obviously has quite a few friends at school anyway, so I get the feeling the whole thing out of school hours is more of a additional persona. It's just like, yeah, I just like making kaiju and killing people.
As you do, I suppose. There's no next time thing here. Interesting. Right, that was episode 2 of SSSS.Gridman, mate. How did you find it?
An infinite improvement, I have to say. Action was nicely spaced out in between. I liked the whole revelation of samurai caliber. That was pretty amusing.
Yeah, the samurai caliber.
And just more bits about how the world works as well, and it was presented in such a way that didn't seem overly laboured, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand you, mate. The pacing was a lot better. I like the action. I like the new sword guy. Fucking samurai caliber. Voiced by Ian Sinclair in English. How about that?
Ah, Brooke from One Piece.
There you go. Alright, mate, I have episode 3 of Gridman up here, so if you will allow me, I will count us down into it and we'll finish this batch.
Let's do it.
In 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're starting with the OP. Why am I stating the obvious? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like this is new as far as anime recently goes, because normally you have that little bit before the opening. I suppose Hero Academy does it a little bit as well, but it's rare to not have, like, a next time or a stinger at all, so they're keeping things very much under wraps here, which I actually quite like. It also means I don't have to hear Tom at the end go, oh no, close the video!
Well, you know, I'm not going to justify how I talk and speak, okay? Why is there a Gridman train bopping about the sea?
I think the real question is, why is there not a Gridman train that we've been shown yet proper?
Ah, I see. There's 4 of them there, and they must all be weapons and whatnot.
What if it reminds you of, like, that multi-arm dude from Hero Academy? What was his name? Like, Shinjo or something like that? Or Shinju, maybe? I can't really remember his name. All I remember is that it was always kind of cool.
Not to give too much away, but we may be seeing many more combinations down the line, so Samurai Caliber may not just be a sword for a Gridman going forward.
I'm willing to bet that they'll probably combine all of them together towards the end.
Oh, hell yeah. It's almost as if Gridman knew that Akane was starting trouble there, and came for her directly during homeroom.
I heard you were talking shit!
Ah. Alright, episode 3, let's do it. Real emo hours?
You can't just be standing outside my house like that. We've had this conversation.
Auntie?
I wonder if that's a kaiju.
The smallest kaiju in existence. Defeat. Let's see if I can find anyone here by the name of Auntie.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was like a kaiju made deliberately to be able to blend in.
Oh, I ain't saying shit about that, mate, but you've got a storm coming, baby.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this then. Certainly an interesting concept if what I believe is to be true. Then again, it could be something completely different, so I'm looking forward to... I was always going to accuse that as being jank animation, but I know for a fact that I've just shimmied around in my chair at school to the person in front of me many, many times.
So I guess Samurai's just going to stay outside school and guard us. Oh, they let him stay inside the gates. Interesting.
Well, I was going to say that maybe nobody can see him, but I don't know. He was there with the discussions with the parents of the people that got killed in the kaiju attacks in episode 1.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was just sitting there and they weren't acknowledging him. It's a little hard to say whether he's actually visible to the average person or not.
Interesting. Oh. Bit of a barbaric way to eat ribs, but to each their own.
Hey, everyone knows the only way to eat ribs is messily and with your fingers. There's just no other way to enjoy it.
That's a weird take on that one Little Mermaid thing. La 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 la, call the girl.
We all know what you're just thinking. He wants part of that thick. Yes, one thing that I did know going into this show is that Rika Takarada's Fi started practically in a religion.
Wow.
Well, people like what they like, and I suppose if the vast majority like that, then more power to them, I guess.
Well, she's underage, so have fun with it. I want to kill more kaiju. Yes, they killed people. Oh.
You mean that wasn't my imagination?
Yeah, he's been watching too much Toku, but at least he knows tropes from reality, I suppose.
Indeed. The lovable oaf that he is. Actually, fun fact about his English voice actor, apparently, Greg Ayres voiced very early on as far as Neon Genesis Evangelion. He voiced Kaworu Nagisa, who was the person who would be piloting Ava Unit 2 after Asuka went slightly insane. That's if I'm remembering correctly. He also voices Frost in Dragon Ball Super and Koji Koda in Hero Academy, which is kind of the weird blocky-looking bloke that can talk to bugs and animals.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, I know, like, maybe 80% of the characters by name, the rest nothing.
Well, you know them by their quirks, is the idea. But, the actual voice actor himself also works as a nightclub DJ from time to time, and occasionally performs at anime conventions, apparently. So he's a bit like Craig Charles in that sense. So, Craig Charles, obviously he's the actor who plays Lister in Red Dwarf, and has also been in Coronation Street. But, he's also does DJ work on the side. But, he actually appeared in, one of the schools near me as well, and did a DJ gig there. Oh, looks like I was right about the kaiju thing.
But what you don't know is what power set he currently has. Don't mind me, just have to kind of sneak out and henshin. Whoa, that dude looks legit.
I know, it's so awesome. That's like almost final boss levels of awesome looking.
Hello, it's me.
Well, at least he came in through the window so he didn't have to worry about getting wedged by the door.
I am entering through the window like a non-normal person. I got you. Let's go.
Yep, that is some Studio Trigger animation if I ever saw it.
Thankfully, we won't have to explain this to people tomorrow.
I suppose that is one advantage. Like, everything conveniently wraps itself up nicely in a bow. God, that looks so cool. Yeah, don't you look so smug? Yeah, it's cool, but... I pat at you, young lady.
Samurai taxi service with a smile.
Room for one more. Guy is pretty strong if he can lift 3 people and still jump like that at the same time.
Well, I mean, he's carrying 4 swords at once, so... Not Apple, so he's got a line through it.
He just chucks them through the door.
Remember, yeet for distance, Kobe for accuracy.
Yes, the unwritten rules of the internet. I'm not sure if I'm glad or not that yeet became a thing, but I do find myself talking about it early.
No time for romance, shooter. We must become a giant robot. Whee!
How would you think Coop would cope in this kind of environment?
He would probably just punch the monitor, and Gridman would explode.
It's like, I don't need that, I got my own giant robot.
Ah, I, pose, I'm here, pose, to defeat you, pose.
We're getting quite early in the fight, so I wonder if defeat refers to he gets beat in this fight and then comes back afterwards and beats the shit out of him again.
Oh man, some nice martial arts going on here. I don't need no motherfucking sword. Dude, I don't even know you. Calm down the angst.
Apparently my girlfriend just left a note saying that the animation style is so good. Great faces and expressions, and love you.
It is good animation.
It is. She has good taste. She watches a lot of anime as well.
Huh. So it's a human who can turn into a kaiju?
I suppose it's a bit like how in Kamen Rider Double, at least, you had people that can transform into the monsters using the Gaia memories. Well, not so much the Gaia memories, the unpurified ones.
No, that was for episode 2 only. Oh, fine.
You know, normally I would have expected him to say something like, look, I can only do it every so often. But no, he's just like, sure, fair enough.
Yeah, fuck you.
And there's that awesome music again. Well, I mean, she prepared before for what Gridman had to offer, so I'm willing to bet she prepared for the sword this time as well.
Counter this, you motherfucker. Oh.
I have the power of Hugh Jackman!
Well, that's more Lady Deathstrike, I think.
Yeah, more X-23, but, more or less the same thing.
So yeah, Auntie can copy the powers of Gridman.
Ooh, this is gonna be tricky. I wouldn't be so surprised if this did result in Gridman's defeat initially.
Yeah. Don't worry though, we have been commissioned to cover episodes 4 to 6, so Gridman will continue on HFC.
Hell yeah! I mean, hopefully we get to watch the whole thing, because then that way I don't have to worry about watching it on my lonesome.
There you go, right? Oh, that really hurt.
So if he does get defeated, what the hell happens then?
Episode ends, I guess. Oh god, we didn't pay the electricity bill! God, they're stuck in the internet, the worst place to be.
Yeah, just imagine if you got stuck on a really dubious website.
Let's go for a ride. I basically won. I ruled the world now.
The thing is, I know this is 12 episodes, so I know this can't be the end, but I'm very much reminded... You remember the old Mortal Kombat films, yes? Namely Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember a show that used to be on TV called Mortal Kombat Conquest?
Yes, I used to watch that with my granddad, actually.
That show literally ended with every single person dying, and Shao Kahn winning.
It was rad as fuck.
It really was, it was just like, what, the bad guy won? And that's it? There's nothing else?
Sometimes it just be like it do, mate. So, is Yuta okay? And I guess Samurai as well?
Well, they are pretty much dead, apparently, but I'm not entirely sure what's gonna happen. Do they, like, go, haha, I faked my death the entire time? Or maybe some reset shenanigans will be going on, and maybe it'll just go, oh, well, it's a new day. I guess you won this time, so it's 2-1.
Careful now, Missy.
You're kaiju, and also you have horrible table manners.
Rad. Okay, back to eating.
How dare you interrupt my mad noms.
This Gridman Alliance, kind of not working out for me. We actually need the Gridman to be the Gridman Alliance.
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, there's only one. Well, this will be the telltale sign.
Imagine if he just, like, came out of a computer in his place.
That would be a bit crazy.
Oh, they think they forgot him.
Well, clearly not, because they remember him. Or at least they know of him.
Well, you know what I mean.
Well, I can't say I entirely blame her, to be honest with you. Well, I mean, that's great and all, but now what are you gonna do?
Exactly, you've got, like, no one to pit your kaijus against.
He's such a proud dad.
He is.
I'm not sure if it actually is her dad or not. It wouldn't surprise me at this point if it turned out he was. Yes, that's right, I made my own dad, and he's an awesome kaiju that looks like Gurren Lagann.
It doesn't seem like he's manipulating it all that much. He just gives her access to what she needs, really.
Yeah, I mean, he takes a fair bit of licks from her. I mean, obviously, booting the monitor in episode 2 was a thing.
Well, I mean, booting the monitor doesn't do anything to the hardware and whatnot, mate.
Well, I mean, he did say ow, so I'm not sure whether it's just the whole thing going, ooh, that wasn't very nice, or was it just literally he felt it through the monitor.
It's just personification of computers, I guess.
I have no choice. I have to become Gridman myself.
The Gridman Alliance is over! Oh, disbanded, that works too. Yeah, he said he has blue hair, but up close it seems a bit more green.
Yeah, I did say blue earlier, but it is definitely more green, now that I've seen it a few more times.
Oh, new member time!
She's got a suit. It's another weapon. This wasn't here.
Oh, I think we're getting the full introduction.
Oh, snap, the entire crew is here.
No, seriously, it's not open right now.
I like how just like, yeah, we have to assist Gridman, but first, coffee.
Yep, well, I can't help, or, you know, a gigantic kaiju-sized superhero without a coffee in the morning. Seriously, what the fuck is this trifling nonsense?
How's this guy supposed to eat or drink anything?
Carefully.
Very carefully. He has little holes in each part of there, just big enough to fit a straw in.
He's just energy right now, pure and simple. Who said you could get that close? I will shiv you with my pigtails.
Imagine if he was just at his house the entire time.
You're just having a nap. Like, it takes a lot out of you being Gridman.
It's like, have you tried calling him?
Hodoy!
Oh my god. It's literally gonna be, he just picks up the phone instantly. It's just like, yeah, I got home like an hour ago. I don't know where you guys were. Oh my god, it literally is.
Yeah, where am I right now? What's this place called? 4chan? Oh my god!
We gotta get him out of there as soon as possible.
Alright, let's look up characters here. Samurai Caliber and Boar. Boo, scrolling along. Let's see. Oh, an androgynous boy who was named after the twin driller tank from Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. Interesting. He has a pair of handheld knives stored under his sleeves. Voiced by Aoyuki in Japan and Afiyu in English.
Ah. Well, we've got Samurai Caliber back, but where is our friend Yuta?
Hello, it is us!
Back once again!
Alright, Auntie, where you at, motherfucker? Round 2.
No, she is not gonna like this at all.
You should be happy about this. You get more stuff to test and whatnot.
He's back again. How many times am I gonna teach you this lesson, old man?
Make my Shota grow! Oh, look in the fucking mirror. Like, so much excessive armor and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's not... But he said eyesore specifically. That is not an eyesore. That is awesome to look at. Like, it could very easily be, like, a weapon fight in a Final Fantasy game. Oh, okay.
Yeah, vehicle time!
Oh, is it gonna be? Oh, I think this is meant to be the fist dude.
Yep, very much so. This is Max, voiced by Katsuyuki Konishi in Japanese and Chris George in English. A tall man with a mask, his weapon is a pair of gauntlets, transforming into a mace for self-defense purposes. His assist weapon form is named after the Tracto combat vehicle and its pilot Tanker from Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
Oh my god, it's so Transformers Armada!
Hell yeah, it is!
Optimus Prime! Super Mode!
Hell yeah.
Oh, that is awesome!
I'm surprised they're taking a lot from the Western adaptation, honestly.
Yeah, it's actually quite surprising. Normally you'd expect it more from the original source material, but I guess maybe they were just looking to make it popular enough from there, or maybe they're just mixing in elements of both.
Yeah, just paying homage, really, and I'm all for it.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, sorry for literally just fanning out over, like, the whole Transformers transition going on there.
It's cool, mate, don't worry about it.
Armada was such a good show.
I really enjoyed Armada. I even collected a couple of the minicons.
The minicons were just a neat concept overall. But also, it has the best version of Starscream, I think. The kids aren't overly annoying. And I think just in terms of all the characters and what have you, they had a lot to offer.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, we got a beam clash!
One of us is going to run out of breath eventually, and it was you!
What if it ended in a tie? Oh, nope. They're evenly matched.
But my fist is bigger!
Therefore I win.
Well, well. Oh. He ran out of kaiju time. Interesting. Now step on him!
Squish.
You win this round, you fucking cock. Ugh.
Or maybe he was literally one of those sort of ones that can only be alive for a certain amount of time. Like, you know, made in super powerful, but very small lifespan.
Slap him! Oh. I'm sorry, but I was in the internet.
Well, she got to apologise, at least.
I guess so. Maybe there won't be a next time.
You know, we still haven't received our coffee yet. What the hell is the deal with this cafe, anyway?
What kind of cafe slash antique store slash compartment for Gridman to live in do you call this place?
Did they literally say they are Neon Genesis Junior High?
Let's have a little read here, shall we?
Because if I read that correctly...
Let me read it. The NGJHS, short for Neon Genesis Junior High students, is a quartet of hyper agents who pose as youths dressed in black. That's a bit of a spoiler. I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to read that yet, but they can transform into assist weapons. And when Gridman is absent, fuse into a giant robot called War God Combined Powered Xenon.
Oh, that sounds awesome. But no, the fact is, like, Neon Genesis is a homage to all the Evangelion thing, that is awesome. Oh, that was a top-notch episode. I loved that.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Like, the whole idea of the guy getting defeated, but it's just like, wait, does everything get reset? Is he actually dead? We're not entirely sure. So I guess after a while, he gets retreated back into the computer, I'm guessing? And then at that point, as long as they can get into contact with them, they can pull them back out, and they can start the cycle all over again.
Seems likely, yeah.
So I would wager that in order to effectively kill Gridman, not only do you have to defeat him, you then also have to destroy his power source, which is the retro-looking computer.
Yeah, this ED is cool and all, but it would be really great if the Donkey Kong Gridman would be in the background just doing, like, handstands.
Or just doing a Samba de Amigo thing like in Love Live. But yeah, I don't really have much more I could add to that, really. I mean, episode 1, I commented before, went a little bit on the slower side than I would have liked, but it picked up, and it just kept going.
Yeah,
and holy crap, episodes 2 and 3. Oh, I can see why this anime was very well received.
Yeah, I didn't get the hype from episode 1, but 2 and 3 have definitely sold me on it, so thank you very much, A Frozen Traveller, for commissioning these, and believe you me, I'm looking forward to covering 4 to 6 down the line. So, any last words before I shift into Gridman and punch you with my Donkey Kong arms, Volk?
No, I think I'm just going to run for the door now before you actually catch me.
Yeah, so that was SSSS.Gridman episodes 1 to 3. First one was a bit slow, second one was much better, third one was probably the best, introducing Anti, a human kaiju, as it were, who is just basically like Dark Gridman, let's be honest here, and I always love the dark counterparts of the heroes. They have like the same power set and whatnot, so really good conclusion to this set of episodes. But if you guys want your own hours worth of TV comms, you can check the prices on patreon.com/HellfireComms, and every penny helps to pay the co-coms and myself for our time and whatnot. It helps us buy new equipment and games to entertain you guys with, and you can have a combination of stuff, like you can have 3 23-minute episodes like you saw here, don't worry about going slightly over an hour, I don't care, or you can have 6 like 11-minute episodes, or 1 like 45-minute episode, or 1 15-minute one. You can mix and match, but just check with me beforehand to make sure stuff hasn't been done before. We'll see you next time for another round of HC Patreon TV comms. Bye-bye.
See you later.